if anybody's here now or not, though. I know times get a little mixed up because I feel like I do something, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't think I would be back by this time. I was like, oh, I'm going to be back by this time. I'm going to tell them a bit earlier because I don't have much time. I have to do this until like 3:45, so I'm going to go right into it right away. I won't be able to hear this stuff because I read this. Well, I'll check periodically. In the chat, I'll put down this real quick. Hello to everyone. Everyone with the big smiley. Yay. Hope that works. I don't know. Right now I am live, so I'm going to get going right now. I actually wrote a series of 8 short stories. I do admit that near the end, they didn't, like, the last 2 near the end, I have a feeling they're not, like, my best works. I could have done a little bit better, I do admit that, but I really want to get this stuff done so I can get live streaming done and get it more, I want to think of, that one thing, what's it called, more views in, and more, little shorts in, and more normal videos in. This will only be until 3:45, so I'm going to go right now. There's 8 stories in read to you, and this is what I put down just so you kind of get the gist of it. Hope you like these 8 stories, and would love if you could either draw them or make them into a series of films. You guys don't have to if you guys don't want to, but if you're reading this stuff, you're like, hey, I want to draw this characters, these creatures, this is awesome, and I want to make this into a movie. I'd watch it. I personally, if anybody does it, like, I'd definitely take a look at the images of what you do with my creatures. Of these creatures I pretty much created. Except for like 2 of them. One of them was mixing monsters together, and one is basically existing set of creatures, but how I portray them. So yeah. And this is WriterofFiction presents Colorful Monsters Dreaming. The movie set. Because I have this idea of doing like a TV series with different colored monsters. I'm making video games and another different set of monsters, Hello, Spiel holding out 9 yards. Loud, I can. I'm sure I can speak. This is not my first time talking. But anyway, so let's begin with. This one, each one has a different theme. This theme is optical. And the title is Regrowth. Fairleigh Rosencrantz woke up. He got out of bed, where his side was still covered up, while his wife's side was unfolded and messy. As he got up, he heard a, "Come on, come on, come on," come from the bathroom door. He got up, forgetting about the bed he would normally set up. Please, 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 please. He could hear as he got closer. Hey, honey, he asked through the door. Are you okay? Just taking the test, she yelled back. Fairleigh and Avina had always wanted kids, but it seemed like nature was throwing them a curveball every turn it did. Every day they would try, and every day they'd be disappointed. Damn it! His wife threw something against the wall. She got out. She was on the verge of tears. Fairleigh hugs his wife. She breaks down and cries. Why can't we just have a baby? She cried. Fairleigh didn't say anything, for he didn't have to. They decided to check with the clinic again. He saw his motorcycle in suit, but he knew this wasn't the time for it, so they took their car. At the clinic, they heard the same news. I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Rosencrantz, but there's no change. I just wish we know whatever. In why you can't have babies, as well as something new. But Fairleigh, your count is low. Does this mean we can't have? Does this mean we can't have kids? Avina broke down again. Look, spoke the doctor. I know this is hard for you, but there are programs. I guess we'll now that, but I know this is hard for you. It was like, I don't know. I think I should maybe, should we move the comma? Do you think? Because now, I didn't even think about it. I know this is hard for you. But Will that sound more like, I know it's hard for you. I don't know. Like, is it like, you know what I mean? What? If you want to leave in the comments, you can, or just leave in the comments below because I put it on YouTube anyways. But there are programs that can help with raising levels, so if it can help with his end of producing babies. Okay, that's it. So I read my stuff again. I'm like, why did I wait that for? Like, what? Like, should I word it differently? As they were leaving the office, a man waiting patiently was watching TV when on it a man was speaking to a news agency about how some viney snake had eaten his best friend. Oh, sorry. Some viney snake had eaten his best friend. I don't know. As he got home, Fairley consoled his wife. Oh, honey, it'll be okay. We'll try something else, he said as he wrapped his arm around her shoulder and rubbed his hand up and down in a circular motion. Like that kind of like, the hug, the kind of thing. So I'm trying to get it. She just shifted her shoulder away and went upstairs to bed saying, I just want to be alone. He sat on the couch as he turned on the TV with a shotgun hanging on a mantle for hunting and flipped through the channels. Buy one, get one free. It even cleans grime out of dirt. Called J.G. Went. Reports of 4 people have been eaten by a strange serpentine Samson sprout slithering around. Try saying that 3 times fast. If I get 5 times fast. 6, so 7, whatever. We're open. Come to our deluxe dirt bike center here in downtown Maine. And yes, motorcycles are welcome. Fairley got up off the couch as he went to the garage. There he put on his motorcycle uniform. Harsh leather with bike chains around the waist. The helmet was made of a strong, sturdy material with an all-black on one side visor. After getting on, he went up to his wife, carrying with him a pink leather jacket. When Ravina heard the door open, she turned and saw him in his black leather outfit. She turned back around. What are you wearing? She asked. Want to go for a ride? He replied. I'm not in the mood, she said, sulking. But the new dirt bike site is open, he tried to console her. Then you just go. Look, I know you wanted kids. I do too. But once we do, we won't be doing too much motorcycling in the future. I know, but I'm not really in the mood. But will you be okay here? He sat down on the bed as he rubbed her back as she sighed. She whispered, I'll be fine. If you want to go, you can go, but maybe we can try again tonight. He sat there for a minute, then he began grabbing at his zipper. What are you doing? She asked. I want to be where you can be happy, he said. But what about? It just opened, so it'll probably be busy and have a lot of kinks to work out. But you're looking forward to this day, as long as I've been. She looks down at her belly and rubs it. He grabs her hand. Right now, your happiness matters more than my Crash! Ow, I hit my hand. What was that? It was on my hand already. He got up, but Avina grabbed his hand. Wait! What if it's a robber? Thud, thud, bang! I gotta do a different bang sound, I don't know. That sounded like the door falling? Okay, what? I'm sorry. Okay. He grabbed his wife's hand. You stay here and I'll check it out. Yeah! Avina screamed and pointed. Fairley turned and saw it. It was a snake. A large, slithering snake. Only it wasn't a snake. It was snake-like, yes, but also has woody, viney texture to it. And what's worse was that on what could be only be his tail, that they would soon find out is just as long as its body, like it had a lizard's tail, had eyes pop up all over it. They all moved and looked at them. At that young couple. Then the eyes disappeared and one eye disappeared. They watched and saw that one big eye was looking at them, watching them, studying them. Then the eye went away. Disappeared as if it never existed alongside those other eyes. Then within an instant, the thing's head, its head, with 8 eyes in octagonal pattern, had whipped around and it was just watching them. It then reared its head back as it... Shit! Run! Fairley grabbed his wife as they made it 1 foot. They ran for the car that was in the garage, but the door from the garage was broken into by the snake-like monster as it had fallen onto it. The creature was following them close behind their trail. What are we going to do? Avina cried. Wait here, I got an idea. He rushed back in, nearly avoiding the same thing, as he grabbed the shotgun. Sorry, I should not do it. It produced eyes and saw him. Shit! It slowly towards him as he aimed and fired. It hit its belly. What looked to be sap seeped out. It screamed. I should do that noise as well. In agony. Okay, I better not. It then chased him. He ran as he fired more shots. Makes his way back to his wife. He gave her her jacket. What's this? She asked him. We can't take the car, so we take the motorcycle. The creature appeared. Didn't you kill it? She asked, terrified. I fired 5 shots and only managed to get 3. Suddenly he felt something strike his back. He went down. Ugh. Honey, come on. Honey, get up. His wife tried to help him, but the snake thing was looking at him with those 8 eyes. It's reared its head back. My back is broken. I won't make out of here, but you can, he told her. But no, we can't give up on you, Avina cried. I can't give up on her. Look, it's better for one of us to get away instead of not one. But we can both go. You have your shotgun. There are only 5 shots. You use them to stop that thing. Now don't worry about me. And go. Just go. He tried to get his helmet off, but it was stuck. Then the creature charged at him. She tried to move him, but found he was too heavy to move. So she cried, kiss his foot of his helmet. As she put on her pink jacket and hopped on board the motorcycle, she drove off, looking back at her husband. As he was being eaten alive, she shed one tear before putting on her helmet and driving off. Fairly could only scream, ah, as he was being eaten alive. Ah! Sorry. He felt himself being pushed into this thing's stomach. Was this how it was going to end? Was he to die at the hands of this thing? He watched as his shoes and socks would be melted away. But what can only be stomach acid. He screamed, ah! As it reached and burned through his skin, and his blood, and his hairs. Oh my God, no. He watched as all but his muscles and bones and nerves were eaten away. It went up to his feet, past his legs, up to his torso. Despite all of this, he was still alive. He didn't want to be, not in this state. Then he saw the acid drip, drip, drip onto his helmet. At this point, he blacked out. He had a dream. It was weird. He felt like he was just a brain with a nerve stem and a skeleton and musculature. Then some bubbly things surrounded him, as if keeping him from further damage. His muscles and bones broke down and were being repurposed alongside with other cells, new cells they didn't know before. Then it all went dark. In the woods nearby the Rosencrantz home, the giant wooden snake monster used its large massive tail to dig into the ground 5 holes and then deposited what can only be described as 5 seed eggs. The creature then covered up the holes with mud. The monster dug underground nearby and started healing itself up. Weeks had passed, and Navina was still grieving the loss of her husband. He was nowhere to be found, presumed eaten by this thing. This thing that as soon as she got back, it and her husband were gone. Every day she could only cry. Fairly woke up. It was strange. He knew he should be dead. He remembered what happened to him. It was all there in his mind. Was it all just a dream? But wait. Where was he? It was dark and cramped, like it was in a tight cave space or something. He began poking and prodding at the top of this thing that is keeping him down. As he broke through, he could feel dirt as it fell on his face. Was he buried alive? He tried to move his arms and legs only. He didn't have one. What was going on? Light shined through onto his face. Of all the things he saw hitting his face, this was the best thing he could feel all day. So he pushed his way up to the surface. When he got there, his eyes had to adjust. Not just to the light, but also his vision seeming broken in this weird way. He then saw it. Another of those creatures, no, 4 of them, slithered by. He froze. As he saw one of them go right towards him. Oh no, what was he to do? Help! He tried to yell, but nothing came out. Then he felt a nudge. He looked and saw that thing, only it was giant. Well, more giant than before. Only it wasn't looking at him like it wanted to eat or kill him. It's weird. It almost felt like warm and compassionate. He quickly scurried, slithered more appropriately to a nearby stream. There he got the shock of his life. Besides his two eyes just looking like theirs, he just looked like them. He felt the giant's tail pull him back. He looked down and saw pieces of a seed egg, for lack of a better term, fall from his body. He could only then realize that he was laid and planted in the ground. I should reword that. I know. I'm going to reword it. There's just like a, yeah. And then he must have scratched alongside these others, but why? What was happening to him? Then a word hit his head. Them. He looked and saw 5 of them. He then remembered reports of 4 people had been eaten by strange 17 Samson sprout slithering around. Remember, 7 times fast. Then the giant snake vine creature used its head to nudge him towards the other snakes, and had them play with him. Had him play with them. Sorry. He saw them playing around in the sun. He decided to join them, not like he had no choice. It was like they were getting the energy from the sun itself. Then why did that one eat? Why was he reborn as one of the children? Then a thought occurred to him. He wasn't eating as food, none of them were. They were repurposed, just like his neural cells, into a child of this thing. He then heard a familiar voice. It was off in the distance. It was Avina. He tried to enter the house, but his new siblings, as that's what they were to him, or how they saw themselves now, kept keeping his 8 eyes away from her as they just wanted to play. What was he to do? He did not know. Then he felt as he began seeing off the side of his body. What was he doing? How was he doing that? And he remembered. That is how that sinewy snake thingy was able to spot them. So he watched. He saw that she was talking to and being consoled by her brother, Mohan. Mohan? I don't really know how to pronounce it. I'll say Mohan because sounds like Gohan. So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a big name for it. It's not cool, but that's all we taking away. He wanted to help out, to say that he was okay. But then little things that he saw them as seeing him as their sibling nudged him in a playful way, in a playful manner. He wanted to ask if they were really people like he was before, as he would have been the fifth. But somehow he knew that some factor is wearing his helmet, shooting and hitting that creature, and even his strength of will, caused him to keep his memories and know that he was human. As the sun started to go down and the moon started to rise, he saw as all the viney, woody snake thingies began to dig a hole and bury themselves into the ground. He did just the same, but he didn't fall asleep. Instead, he waited until he was sure they had fallen asleep. He carefully dug his way back out, and while he was slithering around, he practiced his optical eye cells to produce and unproduce more and more eyes out of his body. 5 eyes, 1 big eye, a million tiny eyes, then no eyes, save for his new 8. I don't know. The young always have 8 eyes, or maybe I don't know. I can't know what I did for. I think that's kind of cool. I don't know. As he reached back to his place, he saw the garage door was down and placed to the side with construction tape surrounding the area. He managed to slither inside. His brother-in-law's black truck, where his and his wife's van had once been. It made sense. It was totaled after all. As he slithers in, he hears something loud strike out and felt something whiz past his face. He looked and turned. He turned and looked to see Mahan aiming a gun at him. Like, whoa, hey! He tried to say, but nothing came out. He said he had to slither away. He was going that Mahan was a bad shot. He slithered back into the garage. What was that? He heard his wife yell from upstairs in the bathroom. It's that thing, he heard Mahan yell back. What? Should I get out? No, don't worry. It looks to be like a tiny little one. Just be careful, okay? Oh, I will. He heard him cock his gun. Shit, he thought, I gotta hide. He slid along and tried to find a place to hide. That's when he saw it. There's a vent. And the grate had been recently removed, probably for innovation or the like, but as soon As he heard those footsteps, he slithered inside, knowing the vents like the back of his hand. He slithered along as he went up the stairs, and upon finding one in the hallway, just under the bathroom, he slammed onto the vent until it broke down as he then slithered into the bathroom. There he saw his wife in the tub, just sitting there with her knees to his chest. With her knees to her chest. Sorry. She is crying. He tried to say something, but before he stopped, what was he to say? How was he going to get her to believe this impossible thing? Then she turned to and saw him. Yeah, it's here, it's here! She yelled to her brother downstairs. What? He heard Mahan downstairs. Before hearing those footsteps, he tried to say something to get her to stay calm, but she continued screaming, ah! Okay. As she jumped out of the tub, grabbed him and threw him inside. He saw that dryer hanging on the wall. Hanging on the hall? I saw the dryer hanging on the wall, but I put what did I put? Okay, whatever. Connected to the outlet. As he splashed his way to the surface, he saw her now holding the dryer. Take this, you fucker! She yelled to him. As he felt each and every electric shock, he wondered, is this how I'm really going to die? He felt each shock surging through his body, but then something even more shocking happened to occur. He watched as his wife and her brother were watching him in shock. Then he looked down. He looked down as he was going arms and legs. They were small arms and legs that were child's, but they were arms and legs nonetheless. As he fell to tell, Mahan aimed his gun at the monster, which Fairley just said, to which Fairley just said, you make a great mother, too bad. I won't be able to be the fa. Mahan is about to pull the trigger, but Avina pushes it away from him. Wait, that was Fairley's voice. She went up to him. He looked up at her. He wanted to make new eyes, but Pawnee couldn't. The optical neural cells seemed to have been replaced by his new arms and legs, but he felt like there was one or two more in each limb, but not enough to be like it was just before. He got up and stumbled before getting his balance ready. He then looked at Avina. That's what I said, Avina, but you know what I mean. She looked back at him, the eyes of her husband now bigger and cuter, looking back at her. She instantly recognized him. She hugged him close. She cried, for she knew that while she was able to see her husband again, she wouldn't be with her husband the same way again. As they walked to the living room, he told them everything about being eaten, that strange dream, that his brother-in-law didn't believe was a dream, and being scratched, as he came to call it, from that seed egg. We should kill it before it can do to someone else, Mahan said, standing up as he grabbed his gun. Then, without warning, the snake vine creature thing crashed through the window. Its 4 little children things were in tow. I think I'm going to misspell tow, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It spots Fairley as it looks at Avina. It rears its head back and strikes, but Fairley steps in front of his wife and he stares down the creature. It looks back at him with the same warmth, but this time with sadness and confusion in its eyes. It was then that he knew why this creature looked at him in this way for. Just as the 4 others, he was chosen to be born as this thing's child, and this was his mother. He sees Mahan about to ready his gun when he says, let them go. What? Are you crazy? Mahan could not believe what he was hearing. What this thing did to you? Why would you want to? It wants children, Fairley replied. I know, it doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't make what it did, but if it leaves with 4 other kids in the woods and digs a hole and never resurfaces, then we won't have challenge it. The creature then nudged him, but he felt like this was a goodbye nudge, for he knew that his snake tree monster mommy knew that. Had circumstances been a little bit different, Fairley would have been just like them, scurrying around and growing up, maybe even looking to make more babies out of men. But that's not what happened. And as Fairley, Avina, and Mahan watched as the snake plant monster slithered along with his kids, Fairley held onto his wife's hand. You know, he said, looking up into her eyes, if we can't have kids, I don't mind being yours. She looked at him warmly. Alright, and that is the optical story of regrowth. What do you guys think of it? Is it pretty good? Not pretty good? I don't know. I might be like a couple of days down. I might want to do a couple more later. I might have to do another live stream tonight. But I'm going to get down to the next one right away. Alright. Next one's theme is vampiric. And the title is Blood Puppets. Inside of a cave, a professor and his crew are looking at a strange discovery. There seems to be bodies there. Bodies of random people from random dates and times just slumped over there, all draining the blood. The professor looks at the carcass of one of them. Fascinating, he says, as he goes to get a skin sample from it. Suddenly, it grabbed his arm. Hey, Professor, what's going on? Asked one of his crew before they saw it. They tried to step back, but the cadavers all came back to life and grabbed them. No, 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 yeah! Escalate to Yin. I hope I said it correctly. If not, oh well. Sorry. Was boxing along to the sounds of Disco Inferno, Burn Baby. Sorry. She had just moved into this little apartment with her boyfriend Frank. So there were still boxes just lacing about. What she had really gotten out was the punching bag. Frank Iphigenia had gifted it to her for their 16-week anniversary. Again, sorry for the name. Other names I don't really know most of them how to pronounce them correctly. So if I heard it correctly, then that's good. If not, that's okay, because I don't know. If you want to say, hey, this is how I pronounce it, this is how you should pronounce it, that'd be cool. But anyway, so let's keep going. Sorry. She had always wanted something she could hit, something to get arm and leg muscles into shape, something to get her fired up, to get her blood pumping. So the force of the punch on the bag stung her hand. She looked at it. She had punching and jabbing it so long that even the bag thought her mind was, yep, that was a cute and a nasty one at that. Oh, that was a cut, sorry, and a nasty one at that. Sorry, I'll edit it up later on. I'm gonna keep it as is. I did the spell check, but I didn't do like the doesn't make sense check. Whatever. She went to get a Band-Aid, and as she did so, she did not see that something was watching her. Well, if you could watch by smell, I mean, from a distance. But we'll get to that later. Instead, we just focus on her and a sore injury. As she had begun wrapping it up to stop the bleeding, Frank came in. Hi, oh, I see you love your gift, he said to her. Yeah, I hit it too hard and I cut myself, she replied. He looks at the punching bag. Fluff begins pouring out. And I have to get you another one. As soon as she got done wrapping herself up, she looked at the damage. Whoa, I hit hard. Okay, so could you imagine if I hit it with flaming hands? She said as she boxed the evidence and they were covered in flames. Like we all do. We don't lie, we all do that. Back in the cave, the bodies of the people who had died, including the professor and his crew, got up and staggered around. Something was controlling them. A foolish little witch man is driving along in his Tesla, drinking his ketamine. When he sees the scrawny man in a lab costume pull out, whoa, shit! He slowed all the way, only to hit a tree. It didn't make it. The tree didn't make it. I don't know. Oh, the car. He tried to stagger around outside of the car when the professor's corpse grabbed him. Hey, let go! I'm rich, bitch! Do you hear me? I'm rich! Then he sees that foolishness comes to an end. No, no, no! Alright, so I got a weird thing about the, thing kinda going... Oh, that was weird. It said it was disconnected, but, hope I didn't lose all that stuff. I might just be looking at this again. I'll just keep going forward, Wait, let me check on the thing. Anybody check? No, there's no connection. No, that sucks. But as he did so, a man jumped out with a gun. He had a second amend hat, and his shirt said, "Don't treat on me." He pulled his gun. Alright, I won't know he works. You got that funny, man? He shouted at Frank. Frank said, "Look, I don't want any trouble." Shut up! No, your money in the bank now. He pulls out a bag. May I ask why? Why am I doing this? Because I'm a good guy with a gun, and that means I can rob you for justice. Now don't do any evil heroic moves. Conservative gun, activate! Oh my god. This might not be the finished product. Or should it be? I don't know. It's funny, isn't it? No, it's like, oh my god. Oh, I can't believe it. He then cocks his gun. Oh, said Frank. I'm not the one you should worry about. Suddenly, Edsley roundhouse kicks the robber in the side of the head. He goes down. His gun flies out. His gun flies out of his hand as he knocks out. They then leave on their way. At the store, Edsley and Frank were at the end of the sports equipment aisle as they were looking at more punching bags. Frank decides to look at some mini tennis tables. Suddenly, a boy comes running up to him, tears and look of fear in his eyes. Please, the boy said, you gotta help me. Whoa, 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 Frank said, calling the attention of his girlfriend. What's wrong? I was walking inside with Mom and Dad when we were attacked. As he leaps to the side. You were attacked by who? It was this big black thing. Suddenly, watch in horror as a giant leech latches onto the boy. And it says, oh, to his onto. Sorry. It begins draining away his blood as he ran and punched the leech. But as her hand touched its body, it slides in as if being absorbed. Then it spit her out. She flew into the and ooh, as it hit the wall. They watched in horror as the boy was drained of his blood, and then his body got up. It was as if he was a puppet. They watched as his lifeless husk. As it walked towards them. Then they saw more lifeless husks walking towards them. They tried to back up to run away. I know it says rob away, but once again, I should have. Okay, I'll get it once again in post. It's just that's when you read it, yo. Then here, yo. But they were caught. The leech jumped and latched onto Edsley's head. It began sucking. As Frank tried to help his wife, but he was being held down. What was he to do? Then he saw one of the paddles had broken and had a sharp edge. He managed to break free as he grabbed the paddle and stabbed the creature with it. It screamed, and let go of Edsley. Oh, no, no, no! Frank carried his near-dead girlfriend outside and flagged down the ambulance. They rushed them to the hospital. When they got inside, they got to a doctor who had just put a lighter on his pocket for his about to have a smoke. What happened? Asked the doctor. Blood loss, said the EMT. Do you know your girlfriend's blood type? The same as mine. That's how we got together. We were such a rare blood type that no one else in our city has it. Whatever. How far away is the nearest blood bank with a blood type? He asked the EMT. Too far, if you ask me. Damn. Well, oh my god. Oh my god, she's not gonna make it. Oh my, what a dick. This doctor's so bad. No, wait, let me. We share the same blood type. I could give some of mine. No, it's too dangerous. We need at least 5 people to successfully give her a blood transfusion. The alarm started going off. What's going on? Asked Frank. There's some giant worm thing in the hospital, yelled someone in scrubs as he urged everyone else. No, was Frank's reply. Stay here, orders the doctor, but as he leaves, he drops his lighter. Frank picks it up. Frank was Frank saw everyone was confused, worried, or panicked. He then sees the IV drip. So Frank sees everyone is confused, worried, or panicked. He then sees the IV drip. Looks like I got no choice. He grabs a piece of paper and writes something down. He puts the letter next to it. When Ashley came to, she looks to see her dead boyfriend's husk just lying there, sleeping peacefully. No, 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 she said, and she sees it. Connected to his arm is an IV drip, and she follows it to an IV bag, which connects to an IV pole, and by extension, her arm. She pulls it out as she reads the note. Dear Ezzy, if you're reading this, then I was successful in saving your life. I'm sorry I couldn't be there to see you alive one last time. To see those eyes, to feel your hair, to hold your hands in mine, to propose, but now I'm afraid I won't be doing any of those things. So please, kick this thing's ass for me. Dearest Frank. She picks up the lighter, but as she does so, she hears a voice in her head. Bring me more blood. Flashes of the front of the hospital can be seen. Bring me more blood. She rushes to the medicine cabinet and she breaks the glass and looks inside. Gauzes and isopropyl alcohol packets. Perfect. Bring me more blood. Oh, I'll bring you something all right. She wraps her hands in bandages and douses them in alcohol. She grabs the lighter. As she goes down, she sees the creature soaking away at the stuff she just had. Or sucking away at the stuff she just had. It's like, oh my god, look at your head. Oh, it's so horrible. Oh. I'm just kidding. While everyone else there was being held by the dead, it was controlling. Bring me more blood. Hey! She walks up to it, but it seems to be noticing her. Bring me more blood. She sets up the lighter and, come on, come on, come on. Whoosh! There's a bright flame. Sorry, it's crackling flame. Yeah, whatever. She manages to burn her gauzes. Something. She runs and jumps up and punches the thing. It wheels back as it screams in pain. Fire starts consuming its body. It writhes around it in pain. But Ashley punches again. And again and again. It doesn't understand what's happening. Soon it flops to the floor as it reduces to a boiling mess. 2 weeks later, and Ashley is outside at a park. It's a sunny day, and she holds a cup of coffee in her hand. She sips it, and sees that her scars from burns is fading away into a distant memory. But the fires of those events will always be burning in her mind. Even as a soldier she would end up dating and marrying walks up to her, but that's a story for a different time. Inside of the cave we see a bunch of dog-sized eggs hatching as tiny little leeches poke their heads out. And that's the story. That's my vampiric-style story of Blood Puppets. Once again, what do you think of it? Is it pretty good? I know some of the stuff I had to change, But what do you think of it so far? It's pretty good. The improvement, stuff like that. Alright, until 3:45, we get to the next one. I might be able to do all the story. I'm going to have to end it then, but I'm going to just keep going. Alright, here we go. Next one's title theme is Tentacular. And the title is Death Grasp. The fishing village was calm and peaceful that day. The seas were ripe for sailing and fishing and swimming. An old fisherman casts his wheel into the sea. He waits a little bit, then slowly brings it back. Then he waits. He feels a tug. He pulls back. There's a struggle. Oh boy, this is the big one. It was a doozy. He was going to win the fishing prize. He is sure the fish struggles. The fisherman stumbles on the sand. He arches back and collapses on the sand. He falls dead on the beach. A little girl just a little while away asks, Mommy, what's that strange man doing? She too falls dead on the beach. Sorry. Her mother looks up at her daughter. What's that? Seeing her lifeless corpse, she doesn't know that jellyfish tentacle inching towards her. The military base was loud and chaotic, but it was a controlled chaos. Lieutenant Blakely was top of his class. He is a dedicated soldier and brilliant-minded strategist. He's working hard with his soldiers when his commanding officer comes up to him and yells, Lieutenant, with me! As he walks down to an office and steps aside, he sees General Sarah Blakely sitting on the desk across from him. Her arms are on the desk, fingers intertwined. You want to see me, sis? He asks as he stands at attention. I don't have time, so I'm going to let that slide. But there's been reports on our beachside home. How are Mom and Dad are okay. Do you know what it is? Was it a shark or an octopus or a croc? Remember you said you saw something plant animal-like? Lopinus-like, okay. Like it was part vine, part octopus, and part jellyfish? That no one said believed you? His face got cold as he palely said, Yes? Show him. A scientist from behind it pulls out a board that's covered up by cloth. As he uncovers it, there's a thermal scan of a strange monster that's made of tentacles, tendrils, and stinging tentacles. He has a flashback of this thing reaching out and trying to grab him, of it taking his best friend and his dog into the sea. The scientist then says, We call this thing Merbestia Arma Mortis. It was sighted off the coast, where it's reported to have killed 86 people so far. We believe it's a type of hydrozoan, being composite of different cells. Your mission should be tasked to accept it, said Sister. is to form a team of 6 and kill this thing. The flashbacks came again. It noticed his young self yelling and screaming and begging for his dog and friend to not be taken away. I'm sorry, but I can't. But I don't think I can do this. Look, I know that you barely survived that thing, General Sarah says, and no one believed me, the lieutenant replied. But sadly, you're the only one who knows how to beat this thing. He got more flashbacks of him being in the tub as a kid and seeing that tentacle, that stinging tentacles, reach through the drain pipe. He ran out of shock and confusion to his parent and sister, fully naked and blabbering about a monster in the tub. No one believed when he said that something pulled Old Man Winters into the well. Even when he tried to photograph proof, he would always say, it's probably just a tangled up fishing net. These left him into being incarcerated in a therapist's home. I'm sorry, I can't sorry, but I can't. What about revenge? Lieutenant stops at this. Don't you want to get revenge for a Spike? What with your best friend? Would Justine be content with you just running away? I'm not running away. Then prove it. Then he gets up. He flashbacks as he tells his sister everything. When I first saw the creature, I saw Justine fall dead. I couldn't understand why. Then I saw that crystal clear tentacle reach out and touch my dog. He died instantly. Then it grabbed them and pulled them in the water. Then in the tub, I saw stinging tentacles reach for me, and I would have been done for had I not knocked Old Mom's vinegar tablets on the water. Then when I saw it trying to pull Old Man Winters into the well, I noticed it tried to avoid drying out. So from what I'm getting is that it's weak to vinegar and sunlight, air, and bright flashes. Good. We already know how to kill it. So what do you say? Do you want to form the team? Back at that village, Lieutenant is standing in the Humvee, addressing his 5 fellow soldiers. Private Tommy Ampere, sitting down while reading his book. Private Eric Nemia, who has a hunting knife out. Private Nathan Lucy is admiring his white hair as he uses his guns as mirrors to check his luxurious Luxembourg hair. Private Tiberius Bell has his face covered by his hat as lays on an empty bench. Private Ashley Foster cleaning off the butt of her guns. He stands with hands behind his back. All right, men, he says as he faces them holding a gun. These are filled with bullets that have been specially designed to release vinegar as soon as they hit the target. He then points to Ashley. Private Foster has the camera lens attached to her guns. When he fires, the monster will force all the water. Then it's our job to fire at it with the specialized bullets. He then points to Tommy. In Ampere here we use a net. Ampere puts down his book, pulls up a fishing net, puts the net away, and then goes back to his book. And keep all the water. He then pumps his fist up in the air. Let's do this! Yeah! Alright. Sadly, I had to end right here. But I hope you like it. I like it too. Like I said before, I'm going to do the next one. After this. But I had to get going. Alright. And but I might come back tonight and finish up the story as best I can. And on a live stream. I'll tune in one day and be like, oh, well, that's cool, but I don't do it all the time, but I just kind of have to do it this way. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Visit my Patreon. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.